I want to give you a bonus clip here. It's not with Peter Ducey, but I've been hounding the press a lot. But at the same time, for those that are avid listeners and viewers of the Bald Brad Show, I have said, hey, I actually do watch the entire White House press briefing, and there are some reporters that are growing on me. We have Phil here, and I've actually spotlighted him before in prior episodes. He's here basically questioning Karine Jean-Pierre on Biden going after MAGA Republicans, calling them extremists, semi-fascists, amongst other names. And he's going to ask her here, well, how do you differentiate between basically a conservative Republican versus a MAGA extremist? And just here's her answer here. It's baffling.
Okay. Go ahead, Phil. I haven't called on you in a bit. And then I'll come down.
When it comes to voters, how does the president differentiate between the ultra MAGA folks who he sees as an extremist threat to democracy and the average GOP voter?
So, can't talk about voters from here. As you know, no. Oh, no, I get you. Not gonna, I just need to say that, right? Just to, just to be clear. I mean, the president has been really clear about the leadership, right? The MAGA Republicans in leadership. They're the ones who have the platform. They're the ones who, again, the extremist part of the Republican Party. They're the ones who, folks listen to in their own party. And by inciting violence, by trying to take away, they're the ones who are the legislators and trying to take away our rights, trying to take away our freedoms. And that's who the president is speaking to, right? He's being very targeted in that way and calling that out and saying, we can't allow our democracy to be attacked in this way. And they have a responsibility, right? They have a responsibility in how they're doing their business on behalf of.
What the hell is she talking about? Anybody, for the love of God, that's listening to this podcast or watching, let me know in the comments below. It helps with the algorithm. So I genuinely do want to know. What is she talking about? Where's the differentiation that was just asked by Phil here to Karine Jean-Pierre, the gaslighter? She doesn't know. She can't differentiate between the two.
Their constituents.
So for folks sitting at home, when the president is talking about preserving the soul of the nation and his threats to democracy, he's not referring to those individuals. He's talking about Republican leadership. Well,
let me be very clear. It's not just Republican leadership. It's not just that blanket, right? He is talking about an extreme portion, an extreme part of the party. He's been very, very clear about that. He was just in Maryland, as you all know, and he talked about Governor Larry Hogan and talked about how he is a conservative Republican who is not in that bucket, right? He was very clear, and he was very purposeful in saying that and being respectful to conservative Republican who are not part of that extreme. So again, want to be very clear here. This is not a blanket statement. This is calling out what we have seen for some time, since 2017, as the president wrote about in his article. Right? When you are supporting an authoritarian figure, as we have seen, who is currently leading the former president, and saying inciting the violence that you are, or wanting to take away our freedoms, we need to say something. He's not going to shy away from that. Okay.
It's just unbelievable. But she's not going to talk about Maxine Waters saying, hey, we need to go out in the streets, go after Trump supporters, going after Sarah Huckabee Sanders, going after Ted Cruz, all these people while they're whining and dining. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a president who said go peacefully protest and all these things. There's no differentiation among them. And that's why I think it's important to highlight Phil here, asking her this question, because he's highlighting the fact as well that they think that we're all extremists. That's why she couldn't give a clear answer, even though she's like, let me be clear on this. You weren't clear at all. Well, the president was clear. The president hasn't been clear as well. He's lumping us all together. They think that we're extremists. They think that we're all a threat to democracy. That's how they view us. They view us as racist, xenophobes, homophobes, whatever it may be. That's what they think that we are, extremists, and we're there as a threat to democracy. Astonishing. Freaking astonishing. I don't want to repeat of everything I just said in yesterday's episode. You all know how I feel about this. I know how you all feel about it because you leave phenomenal comments. If there's any more reason to freaking get out in the polls this midterm, we can't keep taking this from these Democrats, folks. We can't keep allowing them to have the possibility of stripping our rights away. And I know some people are like, well, that's extreme. No, it's not. Look at what big tech's doing. Something I want to cover here, and I haven't released this yet and talked about it because I just found out about this yesterday, and this does 100% impact me here on the Bald Brad Show and every other conservative channel out there and outlet. There's a new thing here from YouTube that's going to affect ad revenue from conservatives. They talk about hate speech. They talk about like all these things you have to list out that might be, not hurtful to other viewers, but they might find it offensive. I mean, there's a litany of things you have to check mark now to get ad revenue, or else they're not going to give you ad revenue, and they'll get to dictate. They'll get to decide for you upon review if you get limited ads or all these other things. That was just released yesterday. I'd never seen that before. So going into the midterms here, you can quite possibly see Republicans, GOPs, their ads being taken down, not being advertised here on the Bald Brad Show. Things are getting so wild here, folks, regarding the First Amendment. It is crazy. Not to mention, as we've stated, as we've seen Democrats going after and localities and states going after our Second Amendment rights to bear arms. We're going in such a bad direction here. We are going in such a bad direction as a country. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.